All right, and welcome back to the New Music Exchange. We're here with Lavonne Nichols, about to talk about her new single "Trust." But before we get into that, on the just before we went to break, we heard uh, the public service announcement, "Say the Names," and she recorded a great public service announcement with the telling the quick story of what happened to Emmett Till, and discussed her mother, and y'all just heard it. Um, and the song that she intros on is "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye. So yeah, so once again, thank you for doing that for us with the emergence of Black Lives Matter. We wanted to add that to what we do, and so we have a series of public service announcements called "Say the Names." Um, you pretty much recorded that. Matter of fact, I think you did record that on your own. I think I might have given you a script as an outline.
Mhm.
Okay, so what was the process like for that?
Um, I mean, I love the material, so
Okay.
the script really was, um, the the catalyst for it all. I just tried to make sure I made it my own and really felt what I was saying. When I was reading it, it took me back to when I went to the African American Museum a few years ago and got a chance to actually go into the room where the whole room about his life and the casket being open and just the seriousness of that moment and being there, immersed in history. I kind of went back to that because I could remember how like they just made you feel, how important it was for his mother to want to keep the casket open. So when you were, everything that you had put in the script, I was like, oh, I know because I read this, I studied this, I remember, in my own way. I wasn't there when this all happened, but I'm grateful for the African American Museum that has these things for us to go back and remember what has happened so that, we don't have to, repeat the same things, or we can try to do something about these type of behaviors. So it definitely took me back to that, and so I really pulled from that experience, and there was so much happening at the time you sent me that. That script is still so much happening. Um, it's important that we talk about the past and we try to do something about the future. And so I was happy to be a part of it.
Right, right. Now, people may not know, and I kind of picked up on it the first time we met. As a matter of fact, quick story about how we met. I had booked her girlfriend to be a guest on the show, and her girlfriend took it upon herself to invite you,
That's
which was
sisterly
cool because
love.
she wanted us to connect. And I thought you were another another singer who you have a passing resemblance to. Um, but in talking to you for 2 to 3 minutes, I was able to pick up the fact that you yourself are a radio personality and have done um, quite a bit of radio.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say that you really shine on the PSA, not just as a singer, but also as a commentator, reading the material and reading the script.
Thank you very much. I love every opportunity, especially, radio gives you an opportunity to use your voice, and people are just, they're not even looking at you. They're just tuned into your voice. And so I appreciate that opportunity.
Yeah, well, I told tell you all the time. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of opportunities because I won't even be able to do my show. You be one of these people. Okay, Ray, we heard enough from you. I got this now.
Never. I'm not doing it. No, me and Erica as a duo, I don't know.
You're listening to the New Music Exchange. You're listening to the Gospel Train. We're here with Lavonne Nichols. You've heard her on our air several times doing uh, doing her version of "My Soul Is Anchored," which we're going to play as well. But right about now, we're going to get into the new single "Trust." Now, what can you tell us about the new single we're about to hear?
Well, so you know that it is out on all major platforms, but Trust really came. I actually wrote Trust at the beginning of this year before COVID happened, before the racial tension has always been there, so let's be clear. But before it got as bad as it did in 2020. And so I wrote this song because I had been experiencing a lot of things where I was like, okay, God, I need to increase my trust in you because there's a lot of things trying to make me feel like I can't trust you and that you're not going to come through for me. So I wrote the song just out of my own situation. And every single time I sang the song, I could not stop crying. I just got so filled. And so I was like, okay, I think this is a song that I need to share because I there's something special about this that I can't sing it without getting emotional, feeling like this somebody else needs to hear this. So that's where it came from. And since it's been out, I've been getting a lot of people telling me how it's blessing them, how it's helping them through all of the stuff that's going on in the world with COVID, with the financial crisis, with the racial tension. People who are literally, taking care of people who are sick, they're being, ministered to, and it's just helping people. And it's not just for the Christian, because I feel like people who just need to feel comfort, to feel like they're not alone. This song helps them, and I'm grateful for all the radio stations and people who have been sharing the music and playing it. It's been great.
Wow, wow. And so you wrote this song yourself,
Yes.
from notes and music to lyrics, or just the lyrics?
So I wrote the lyrics and had a melody that I took to my producer Donald Robinson, and we worked together, and he really put all of the music and the instruments and you know um, arranging things to make sure that it flowed nicely. So it was definitely a team effort when it came down to that. But the lyrics, I started the process and then came to him and let's do this together.
Cool, cool. All right. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Gospel Train. You're listening to the New Music Exchange, where we bring you brand new music, brand new artists. I'm so glad to have Lavonne Nichols with us today, and we're about to drop her new single, Trust, for the first time on the Gospel Train. So that means it's an instant classic in the new music change. And then on the other side, after you finish listening to it, we'll come back, we'll wrap up our interview, and we'll ask her about her experience recording this. You're listening to the Gospel Train.